Welcome to Useless Agent, a safe space from cognitive dissonance and childish ideology, the shackles of corporate media, and a place where all are fair game in the eyes of the wicked. Enjoy.
Stay cheesy. Useless agent is on your Facebook, laptop, or your TV, whatever you call it. Useless agent is on your Twitter, Twitch, streaming, or your HP, wherever you want it.
I'm usually slightly whether this is where you feel I really feel. I love people as I need to know people are just you see the whole universe in your eyes. Okay. But it seems like you're taking the sacrifice that really for the sake of the group.
You want to hear the arguments around White House? They're annoying, they're idiots, they're evil, they're fucks!
Alrighty, how's it going, my beautiful children? Alright, new day, new theme song. I like that theme song. It's actually the original theme song that we did a year ago. I just kind of revamped it and reperformed it, and still I just can't get that crescendo sound to it. So if you guys are any good at fixing shit like that, let me know. Yeah, rocking the Bray Wyatt today. R.I.P., brother. So that leads us into already our first segue of a topic. And so the topic will be superheroes, and gender swapping. I don't know why I'm talking like Jeff Goldblum, but yeah, we're talking about gender swapping in superheroes and in all forms of film and in the media. We've seen, they're trying to change Iron Man into Iron Heart. We saw that they wanted to, they made Black Panther a girl. They made, She-Hulk. Now, one of my biggest problems with She-Hulk, which a lot of people were like, was it really that bad? No, it really was that fucking bad. I mean, it was so bad that, you literally had the directors, fighting with the fans over being unhappy. And it's like, dude, if you make a shitty product, people are going to say it's shit. And She-Hulk was a perfect example of, white privilege Hollywood. And even though it's written with an Asian woman and a black woman, it don't matter. You're still white because you rich. Like, the characters themselves will be based on the creator, right? So you're usually going to throw in something like Frank Miller. Whenever Frank Miller does a take on Batman, it's going to be dark, it's going to be gritty, and there's going to be a lot of intense violence, but also very dark storytelling. And from Sin City to Batman, the Punisher, everything, and that everything that he touches, turns into bloody gold. And except for the Spirit, man, that was terrible. So since today is such a political day and everybody's talking about Hunter Biden showing up yesterday, and I was asked, are we going to cover that? Are we going to cover the New York tunnel situation going on right now? If you've not seen this in the news, I won't be surprised because I didn't find out about it until this guy I talked to on the bus. I know this guy because somebody tried talking shit to him, and he called him out for being Muslim, and I cursed the dude out, and turned out the guy had kind of like a stutter, and that was the only reason why he couldn't shout back. He has like a stutter, so he got nervous. So I had no problem, cursing the guy out for him. So since then, me and him have been close. He and I have been very cool. Not close, cool. And so we see each other on the bus, and right away he's like whispering to me, "Did you hear about this? The thing in the tunnel?" Now, I live in a very Jewish, and Arab kind of neighborhood. Devon and California is like a border almost. Where it's like this is going to be the Jewish side, this will be the more Middle Eastern side, but it's not broken down like Palestine and Israel. It's more like these are just where everybody from the Middle East are. They always seem to, whether you're Jewish or you're Muslim, it doesn't matter. The Middle Eastern people tend to be in this one area. And then it's the same shit like if you go down to like a Polish area, like we used to have Little Italy, but there ain't no fucking Italians in Little Italy. I've checked. I have not met one. I can't find one single person of my ilk. So if any Italians are out there, hi. So he started telling me about this New York tunnel situation, and honestly, there's not enough facts right now to go on and make an opinion about it. I want to talk about it because it is in the news, and it's kind of it's very interesting. They found this tunnel in New York under a synagogue, and these guys were in there, and so I just don't know the facts yet, and so once we do, we will cover that, but I will never get on this microphone and tell you guys something that I don't know for a fact. All right, so one thing I do know for a fact, I don't even have to say it anymore. So let's go right into the fact of the gender swapping. We've seen it so often that it's lost its panache if it ever even had one. I don't think it's very interesting. I think it's almost a bastardization of these characters themselves, because we're constantly seeing it from this kind of a strange angle where it's just like everyone has a female doppelganger type thing. And so we're seeing this in movie after movie after movie. And so due to copyright reasons, I don't want to fucking play any fucking sound. Now, this scene in particular, I wanted to mention that scene right there, since this is the only time I'm really going to be able to talk about it. In this scene where Captain Marvel is straight up destroying an entire goddamn ship by herself, why didn't she just take the fucking gauntlet from Spider-Man and just put it on? She's Captain Marvel, right? So what the fuck? I mean, technically, even Peter Quill could have put it on. Isn't he half god? So, like, he survived the fucking Infinity Stone already. So I did not understand this about Avengers. So if anybody has an answer for that, we're definitely going to do an episode on that. You know what? Fuck it. That's what this episode's about. We're going to talk about that. Because there's a lot of problems with the MCU. And I know I'm kind of picking on the MCU, but they're the biggest offenders. You have DC, the little brother, which is hilarious because DC was always the big brother to Marvel. Marvel had the X-Men. That was it. That's all we gave a fuck about was the X-Men and fucking Hulk. No one cared about Thor. No one ever cared about Doctor Strange. No one has ever fucking walked around caring about Iron Man back in the day. They straight up made her awesome. Wait, did I say made her awesome? But whatever. They made Iron Man cool, for God's sakes. And Iron Man was never really that cool. We all liked the song, but there's just so much weird shit to this. So out of all the characters that you're gender swapping, there's Shang-Chi. That's the only one that hasn't been redone, probably because they're never going to fucking show that movie again. It was a total flop. And honestly, it didn't make a lick of sense. I don't know if you ever seen the movie, but it's really fucking just stupid. It just makes no sense. And let's go back to the scene. I want to show that scene again. Oh yeah, Shang-Chi. Now, the problem with that movie was this is again why I hate titling the episodes, because the titles are never right. It's never what I want them to be anyway. So there we go. Let's just do that. All right. So Shang-Chi was the lesser of all those movies, and like made no fucking sense. I mean, we can see why they saved this shit for phase 4, because phases 1 and 2 and 3, I don't remember them even being called phases, to be honest with you. We had the 22 films that led up to Avengers Endgame, which was absolutely phenomenal. It was a great, there's continuity errors, but there's continuity errors in everything if you really pay attention. There's so much shit, and comic books have always played loose with those kind of roles. So with Shang-Chi, I just really didn't understand the point of this movie at all, because like the rings themselves seemed to it was like the cloak on Doctor Strange. It seems like sometimes he has powers and sometimes he doesn't. It's just weird how loose they play with these rules. Similar to the Ant-Man story, where in Ant-Man you have a guy that has made these things where you can be tiny, but your mass and weight stay the actual mass stays the same, or the weight stays the same. So how the hell are you walking around with a tank on your car keys? Wouldn't it weigh the same as a tank? I mean, that's literally what he said. And then how would any goddamn Ant-Man, I don't care who's in the Ant-Man suit, how are you going to be able to stand on top of the ants when you weigh 1,000 times more than them, 1 billion times more than them? My point is, we didn't ask these questions. It was because it wasn't important. We just want to see some cool shit. And we got a lot of cool shit. The problem was that there was so much cool shit, they ran out of fucking ideas. And then they went off and did the Disney streaming bullshit, Disney Plus. Now, I had Disney Plus for 1 year, and I could honestly say that the only things I enjoyed watching were the same fucking movies that I have on DVD anyway. So I thought She-Hulk was so fucking bad because that literally destroyed their whole universe. I mean, you literally made your character just like yourselves, and these were, you could tell, like a room full of women that have never had a real job in their life, have never worked so hard that they're fucking broken inside, and actually break a bone, like these are people that don't know real fucking life. So of course you're not going to get a good story, because these people have never lived a real story. Everything has been given to them, whether it's daddy paying for the car and daddy sending you to fucking college. Try being homeless for a year. Try fucking doing something. At least some of these rich people, they go off with like $200 in their pocket and they travel through Europe. Sure, they have a safety net. If anything goes wrong, they can always call daddy and get saved. But I mean, at least try to go on your own. That's how you make captivating characters and not just straight up dumbasses like Captain Marvel, who literally just blew up an entire ship, then goes to Peter Parker and says, "Do you have something for me?" And then goes, and why is it that she couldn't just fly right over and give it to him? Fuck that shit, man. It was so goddamn stupid. We all know the damn strongest person in that damn thing was Scarlet Witch. And if you don't think Scarlet Witch was the strongest one, you weren't paying attention. Scarlet Witch took on Thanos one-on-one and didn't need shit. She didn't need anybody. She got distracted by somebody else. So in a one-on-one fight, fuck, man. You know, Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen's sister got that shit. Elizabeth Olsen has fucking got that shit. Yet you have Captain Marvel, the most fucking powerful, your Superman character, and you don't even know what to do with her because she's kind of lame. And yet it was still fucking great. And when you hear the reactions in the audience, in the studio, not in the studio, in the theater, you hear the reactions from these guys. You hear how, you know, excited they are to see, you know, the Avengers finally assemble, and you can hear the excitement in the crowd. And then we have now where you're literally hearing, you know, sighs. And again, it reminds me of when we went to go see Superman Returns, and that movie just refuses to end. And so it's like on its like seventh act, and it fades to black just to bring us another scene. We all get up and we all sighed because we had to sit back down. And we didn't wait for any end credit scene. Nobody waited. We jumped the fuck out of there. So with Disney Plus, this was the first thing I watched. I watched Loki. And in that show, Loki is such a simp, such a fucking tool. You know, they're trying to just literally say, well, we don't know what to do, so we're going to cherry pick a certain time so that way we have a certain Loki to basically retell a story that they've already written. That is so fucked up and so fucking stupid that it takes the word meta into a whole different direction. Then you have Hawkeye, one of the most useless characters in the goddamn Avengers, and yet somehow they even gender swap him, like as if somehow a woman that not, I'm not saying she's weird because she's a woman. She's weird because she's not trained like Hawkeye. Hawkeye went off and became a fucking assassin for 5 years, and you just throw that away. You have the Hulk, who has lost every single person he has loved, from, you know, from Betty Ross to fucking to Black Widow, who wanted a future with him, and then suddenly we just totally forgot about this whole goddamn storyline. It's just fuck, man. It was showing signs that they didn't know where to go anyway. So where they ended was great. But to bring on Loki and to tell me that this whole time this guy broke a rule that's a part of some weird time society, and yet they were cool with the other shit of them playing and fucking with time, and they didn't bat an eye. So while screwing around, checking out new comedy on YouTube, I think comedy is alive and well, and it is on YouTube. I highly recommend you get a fucking premium account, because I've given up on cable. I've given up on TV. I watch YouTube, and then, you know, if something's worth it, I'll go check it out. But I'm going to show you a really great fucking clip here. Hopefully I won't get in trouble for showing this. If so, whatever. But he really nails this thing. It's called Warp Zone. and I'm new to the channel, but at first it kind of looked very homemade. And at first, this is the very first episode I saw, and I right away just suspended my disbelief because I understand that these people are not going to have the kind of money to give us professional quality shit. But they do a damn good job with what they have. And I'm guessing they hire real actors and actually spend real money, because there's no way that they just have these amount of friends, you know? Like, some of these are pretty large scenes that, you know, would probably cost thousands. So, you know, I hopefully can show this to you, and I really enjoy it. So it's the idea of Captain America landing into the TVA, which is the Timekeeper Association with the Loki world. And so this is absolutely brilliant. And it really nails it on the head. So yeah, let's go ahead and start.
All right, Steve.
Hitler.
You socked Hitler in the jaw over 200 times. You should be able to bludgeon baby Hitler with a magic hammer one time.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, boy. This was a lot easier when he had the mustache. Okay, here we go. 1, 2...
Steve Rogers, on behalf of the Time Variance Authority, I place you under arrest for crimes against the sacred timeline.
I'm sorry, you're with the who what now?
You're with the one?
Take him in for processing.
Wait, this is about that parking ticket, I swear!
See, the acting is not that bad.
Phew, thought they'd never leave.
Very
Rogers
good
variant
Deadpool impression.
58008.
It's pretty easy to do a Ryan Reynolds
You are
impression.
hereby charged with sequence violation 7654. How do you plead?
Now, this is where this show just shines, because I'm guessing this man is the owner of this network. He's the main actor in not the main actor in most of the skits, but he's in all the skits. So he's like the Tom Lennon of their Reno 911. And I think he does a phenomenal job. He really nails Captain Rogers from a personal aspect, and from a comic aspect, and from a fan standpoint. He really understands the nature of Captain America. Now, when Scorsese had said that they don't care about the actors, they care about the characters, I don't necessarily agree with him. I love Martin Scorsese's work. His recent work has been kind of slow since The Departed, but we all know that the man has done a lot of fucking amazing things. However, it's not fair to say that nobody cared about the casting, because if Chris Evans is not playing Captain America and you put anybody in that role, now it's a gamble. Whereas before, if you picked Chris Evans, you know people are going to watch it. And that could be due to familiarity, but I think it is more along the lines of having to really understand the character. And yeah, they're well-known and established figures, but each type of writer has a different form of view. You know, everyone sees this character differently. And so it's like Henry Cavill said, everyone loves these heroes, but nobody loves them the same. Everyone loves them for one reason or another. So it's the fact that guys like Heath Ledger could understand the Joker and understand that character to play it with justice. And if you're talking about even Elektra, I mean, never mind. No, that one sucked. That sucked. Never mind. All right, let's keep watching the show. Sorry.
I'm sorry, ma'am. That was quite a few numbers you rattled off there. What's going on?
You almost caused a Nexus event by trying to kill Hitler before his scheduled death. So, per TVA procedure, you will be tried, and if found guilty, you will be pruned, along with the variant timeline.
So if I'm found guilty, I'm...
Erased from existence.
Oh, very fun.
That was gonna nail
Just
it.
by chance, has anyone ever been found innocent?
No, never.
Interesting. Well, at the risk of jeopardizing my own existence, wouldn't it make more sense to just erase the entire timeline immediately instead of wasting a bunch of time and manpower hauling people in here for a mock trial? Seems incredibly inefficient and kind of dumb.
Well, Captain Rogers, I don't make the rules. I just enforce the will of the timekeepers.
Ah, yes, the three dudes from the moving picture with the, robes.
They are far more than that. The timekeepers are all-knowing, benevolent beings who protect and preserve the sacred timeline for all life in the universe.
Okay, sure. Sorry, I'm just trying to wrap my head around this. So
Great
the
point
beings
right
who
here.
control the flow of time were cool with us hopscotching around the past to collect the Infinity Stones and defeat Thanos in order to save a ton of lives, but they're not cool with me going to the past and killing an admittedly adorable baby Hitler in order to save a ton of lives.
Precisely. See, when you dealt with Thanos, you returned all of the stones, thereby closing off all the variant timelines. Well, except for one, which we are dealing with.
She's trying to make
But
sense
if you
of
were
it,
to
but
kill
she
Hitler
kind
as
of
a
realizes,
baby,
and
you would
she's
be
kind of
creating an
speaking
entirely
on
new
a
timeline, well
fanboy
outside the
side that
boundaries
tries
of
to
the
explain
sacred
everything.
timeline.
Okay. Well, how about a compromise? I'll go back and get all the Infinity Stones, and then use the gauntlet to bring back everyone Hitler killed in the present. Boom! Everybody wins. Except, Hitler.
Look, Captain Rogers, as tragic as it is, Hitler's rise to power and subsequent atrocities are meant to happen. They're written into the sacred timeline, as decreed by the timekeepers. Thanos winning, on the other hand, was not. Which is why the timekeepers allowed the Avengers to travel through time.
If that's the case, then why didn't the timekeepers and all of their wisdom and power just erase all the timelines where Thanos collects the stones and use the one where he doesn't instead? Sure would have saved us a lot of trouble. And Hawkeye a terrible haircut. By the way,
was a really
this
bad
timeline is so
haircut.
sacred and perfect, then how come the timekeepers allow something like the Holocaust to happen in the first place if they could change it with relative ease? And how come certain things are allowed to be changed but others are locked in time? None of this sounds like the will of wise, benevolent beings. It sounds like the whims of a madman or a conqueror or something.
Well,
Now, what I love about that is he's, dead on right. So let's go ahead and end it. He's dead on right, and I love how she can't even explain it herself because it's an inexplicable plot.
Get around in the end with the whole Peggy bit, so I accept.
just be sure not to create any other Nexus events.
Absolutely.
Sure.
I promise you will neither see nor hear from me again, unless Disney needs a little box office boost. I mean, unless the Avengers need my help.
Wink. This is great.
God, I hate Mondays.
Technically, it's both always and never Monday here.
Oh, shut the up, Carl.
Now that is quality comedy right there. Again, comedy is alive and well, and it's on fucking YouTube of all places because it is up to us to bring the entertainment now. Our entertainers have failed us, and yet we seem to have learned more from guys like Spielberg, Capote, so on and so forth. It seems like the modern day writer is so screwed when it comes down to actual writing that we are basically in a commercial bidding war where the stories are sacrificed over profit. Now, the biggest problem with this is that a sleeper hit is still a fucking hit. And so if you allow these creators to create, they can show us what we want, not tell us what we want. If that makes any sense, congratulations, you have a fully functioning brain. If it doesn't, you probably work for Disney. All right, so that's all I got to say. Do you think they're going to continue with this bullshit? Do you really think they're going to keep doing the gender swapping, race swapping? Personally, I have no problem with race swapping. I really don't give a shit, as long as it makes sense. Okay? I mean, I don't want to see Denzel Washington playing fuck Bob Barker. You know? It's fucking stupid. That's really it. The fact that they were going to have, I forgot which actor. I want to say it was Jonathan Majors, but it might not have been. But I know it was a black actor. They wanted him originally to play the big baddie in the Mad Max film, Morton Joe. Now, in Morton Joe is a, pale, disgusting looking figure, but he is massively pale, like, inhuman, because they live in a goddamn wasteland that's been nuked. So casting a black person, a black actor, to play that Morton Joe role, fucking awesome. I love the idea. Absolutely. So again, as long as it's in context, it makes sense, then it's not race swapping, it's acting. Okay? Now, when you go on and do this just to do it and see if you can get a little capital on it, now that's race swapping. All right? There's the difference. There's your reason. Love you guys. Stay free. Stay yourselves. I'll see you on the other side. Most of all, please stay cheesy, my friends. Like, share, subscribe. Help this motherfucker out. I am broke as fuck.
Welcome to Useless Agent,
Later
a
next.
safe space from cognitive dissonance
Stay
and
tuned.
childish ideology, the shackles of corporate media, and a place where all are fair game in the eyes of the wicked. Enjoy.
Stay cheesy.
Useless agent is on your Facebook, laptop, or your TV.